So appraisals are coming in soft for buyers that have purchased their properties from developers and builders a few years ago. So, I mean, it is a hot topic. It is something that we keep seeing more and more, and the topic I hear more and more even on the street. So when it comes to these purchases and stuff like that, obviously they have been going through, down payments back in the day. They purchased these properties. They're waiting now for these properties to be developed. And now the time is to actually take the keys and to be approved for that particular property. But unfortunately, the appraisals are coming in very low or soft for some of these properties. Therefore, they have to either come up with these particular funds or basically get another mortgage, whoever is willing to loan them that extra money. Now the thing is, like, what to do? I mean, these buyers, my phone is constantly ringing, and the question is like, what do I do? So I guess at this point is more like of a business decision or something that you have to sit down with family and friends. Oh, I said family and friends, with your well, it may be even friends, right? Or realtors or bank. And I guess at this point, it's a business decision. Number one, is this property, has it been purchased for as a rental income? Does it have more than one unit? Is it a traditional home? Is it something that you maybe thought you will move in this particular property within, X amount of years, right? Because a lot of these buyers from, back in, I would say 2021, 2022, right? They have been purchasing these properties that were outside the core of the city, outside Toronto GTA core. So they were hoping that this property will go up in value when they take their keys, and they will money, right? Like they will make money by holding on to these properties within a short period of time and basically flip them. So they were hoping, and they were kind of in that investors kind of game. So this is the story now. So what to do? I mean, look, if the down payment is significant, which in some cases it was like, let's say 10%, in some cases it was 20%. So, but if we take a 10% deposit on $1 million, we're talking $100,000. So if the appraisal, as an example, came in $160,000 below the actual market value, then maybe the business decision or the way of how to solve this problem is to get rid of your down payment of that $100,000 and don't close on the property. But if you can maybe find funds to move forward, in this case $160,000, and close on that property, and then bank that within the next 3 to 5 years the prices will bounce back to that particular market level where you could actually see profit or maybe a better leasing terms or better financing terms. Because if you're in a case right now where you have to actually get that secondary mortgage, or you have to get that lender B, C, D, private, whatever the case might be, you have to know that down the road you will be able to kind of port that back into a traditional mortgage. Just at this particular time, you will not have a choice if the appraisals came in lower than expected. So you have to come up with these funds. I mean, it is hard to say. A lot of, I think, people, investors, banks, predictions are banking that the real estate value will continue to rise, and that we're kind of, at this point, we're kind of hitting the rock bottom, as most people would say, and that the market will stabilize somehow, and that we will see the continuous growth. If I have to answer that question, I believe that we kind of we stabilized somewhere when it comes to real estate market, and the values when we're talking about, well, what does stabilization mean? Stabilization means, or equilibrium means, when you have, listings and sellers in an equivalent proportion to buyers, and then there's like a normal trajectory, 30 to 60 days, where you could actually, purchase a property properly, and you're not rushed from the banks, you're not rushed from the market, you're not rushed from the sellers, you're not rushed from fear of missing out kind of agenda. So I think we're now sitting in an equilibrium, normal market. Obviously, there's scarcity when it comes to real estate market. But I mean, if somebody is upgrading because of necessity, or if they're changing locations because of their employment, I think the market is still moving in the right direction. So where it's going to be in the next 3 to 5 years? I think we will see a gradual increase within 3 to 5%. Some maybe parts of the city or some locations might not see that. Maybe they will level out. But I think on a long run, like if you take, like let's say from today, next decade, I think owning a property, if you can afford it, it's definitely something that you should look into, because renting for the next decade, it's not gonna solve anything, because you're basically paying somebody else's mortgage. But getting back to these new build properties and stuff like that, like obviously the buyers did pay premium at that particular time. Not only premium, but they also paid, they were also dealing with a lot of buyers at that particular time. And I remember trading back a few years ago. It was nuts. It doesn't matter where you kind of drove to. You try to analyze from small developers, big developers, small cities, grand size project, small size project. Everything were sold fairly quickly, and they were sold for a premium price. At the time, like if my clients are watching this video, I mean, please comment below. Like my advice even at that time was like, look, if you're changing or if you're purchasing this particular property from a new build, make sure you can put yourself in a position that you're either going to move in, or you can really afford it, and no matter what happens, it will happen, and you can still ride out the wave. So that was my prediction at the time, and I happened to be right. But again, it doesn't mean that this will remain the same. And I think when it comes to these brand new developers or projects, and you're taking the keys now, I think it's a business decision at this point, and you have to weigh out the pros and cons, basically, what you will do. Very simple. If the deposit is less, then it might be logical, or it might make sense for you to kind of lose your deposit. I know it sounds harsh, but that's the truth. And the second one, if it's close and there's no other options, and they're kind of holding you accountable and you have to close, and I mean, these builders will hire a lawyer and they will go after you. So I guess, like I said, it's a business decision. So make sure you put it down on a piece of paper, and I hope it works out for you. I hope you can ride this wave out, and I hope everything will work out from today for the next decade. Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me, and see you next time.